Hi guys, so we're going to see this video with Sean Hannity. He is a major supporter of Donald Trump in the United States. He's a commentator on Fox News, and here he's talking about the how the suffering of cities is being ignored. So let's hear what he has to say.
Looters, arsonists who are capitalizing on the horrific death of George Floyd are sick. They're twisted individuals that should be locked up for a very long time. So.
Okay, but I think most people agree with that. Why are you reinforcing this idea? Why are you telling us something we already know?
While leaders on both sides of the aisle, this is not an issue. Everybody that sees this video pretty much in agreement, with maybe the exception of a few keyboard warriors in their underwear in their basements talking to themselves. But
how dare you, Sean? I wear trousers all the time, especially when I do my videos. And I don't talk to myself, I talk to a microphone. Well, technically that's talking to myself because I'm not actually talking to another person. But anyway, let's get on with the video.
For the most part, there is unanimous agreement on this. That, in other words, we all watch with our own eyes can happen in this country. People rightfully demand justice for George Floyd. By the way, will they also seek justice?
Now, this is the typical trope of the right. Whataboutism. So let me explain quickly what whataboutism is. When you bring up an issue, the right don't want to respond to that issue. So what they do is they respond to a different issue. So they introduce something else and want you to respond to that other issue. So what he's going to do here is a typical example, a perfect example of whataboutism.
A lot of other people now have been severely injured, some killed in these violent riots in the aftermath that we have been witnessing the last number of nights. Are they going to demand, for example, justice? Look at St. Louis Police Captain David Dorn. Remember, he was shot and killed by looters. What about the 4 other St. Louis police officers who were shot during violent protests? Will they demand justice for the Vegas?
Of course they'll demand justice. They have every right to demand justice. But you're comparing two separate things, completely different things. These people will get justice. If you kill a police officer, you will be arrested and you will go to prison. The problem is, in the United States, the problem related to these riots and these protests is in many cases the police officer will kill someone and they won't go to prison. He's completely missing the point here. The point is that there are people protesting because in many cases police officers are not punished. They act with impunity. So if someone kills a police officer and they are arrested, they will likely go to prison, highly likely go to prison. If a police officer kills a member of the public, there's a possibility, I'm not saying it, I can't give a percentage, but there is a possibility that they will not go to prison. That's what these protests are all about.
Vegas officer in critical condition shot in the back of the head by a rioter, or the 3 Buffalo, New York officers who were intentionally run over by a person in a car, or the 3 police officers in Davenport, Iowa, who were ambushed by a rioter with a gun, or the 2 officers in Richmond, Virginia that were shot, or the Federal Protective Services officer who was shot and killed. And we can go on and on. All violent. This is unacceptable. Look at New York City. Anarchy has been particularly bad and out of control. One NYPD officer was mowed down by a rioter in a car.
Yes, and these people, if we can find them, they will be arrested and they will be put in prison. The problem, once again, is that in many cases, the police officers who kill people don't go to prison. What is Sean missing here?
Car. Another officer beaten by an angry mob. So far, over 30 members of the NY.
Yes, but are these people, these rioters, are they representatives of the state? Are they paid by the government, by taxpayers to do that? No, they're not. They're completely different to police officers. That is why there is a protest. Once again, What does he not understand about this simple fact?
NYPD have been injured by rioters. Some of those injuries very critical and serious. And we can't forget about widespread looting, destruction, arson, fires. Fifth Avenue was looted. Macy's, Herald Square, their flag.
And once again, you're not asking the question, why are people protesting? Why are people looting? Why are the people doing this? Why are you never asking this question? It's just, well, a guy got killed, and then we have all these people looting and stealing stuff, and people protesting, and what else? And that's it. There's no connection. There's no deeper understanding of what the hell is going on.
Flagship store, Thanksgiving Day parade, Miracle on 34th Street, Macy's. Yeah. No business safe from criminals. These are criminals. It's not part of a peaceful protest. According to reports, organized crime may have...
Yes, and the vast majority of people protesting are peaceful. But the media want to focus, of course, on violent images because it drives ratings. Why is Fox News not going out and meeting members of the public who are protesting peacefully and asking them, why are you protesting? What message do you want to transmit to the country? What problems do you face in your life that you would like repaired or fixed? How does the actions of the police influence your life? Why are they not doing that? Why are they not asking the protesters? Why are they just showing continuous footage of violence?
Have coordinated some of the looting. But Comrade Mayor Bill de Blasio, he's just been pretending that everything's fine and dandy. Take a look.
Now he's back into his hackery position. Let me put my Republican hat on. Now I have to start attacking a Democrat. So I started off by saying, well, everyone's equal on both sides, but I better not leave that on the table for too long. I need to now put my hack hat on with the big R on it. Because I'm a Trump supporter, so I have to go out on a limb. I have to defend the team. Remember this tribalism, or as James O'Brien from the UK calls footballism. I have to defend my team. I have to defend my side, irrespective of what they do.
Look at this side-by-side comparison. We call it de Blasio versus reality. Take a look.
Overall, even in a day where thousands of people were out expressing their views, expressing their frustration, their pain, their anger, their deep desire for change.
You see more people filming the guy breaking the window than anything else. This is the problem, is the media focus on the violence. The violence is a problem. But it's a separate problem to what the people are protesting about. If everyone who was protesting was smashing something up, the city would be razed to the ground. You have tens of thousands of people protesting. It's not the same as what's happening where people are smashing windows. There is a certain group of people who wait for some sort of civil unrest, and they pack their bags with bricks and tools and masks and whatever, and they go out and destroy things. These people don't have an ideology, unless their ideology is just to destroy things. They don't care about the protest. They don't care about the objectives of the protest. They don't care about poverty or trying to improve people's rights. They're there to film someone smashing up a shop with their iPhone.
In locations all over the city, overall what we saw was overwhelmingly peaceful demonstration. I'm definitely going to address some of the things we saw late in the evening that were not peaceful and not acceptable. But if you talk about the reality of the full day, we saw more and more the peaceful demonstrators coming to the fore.
And he's right. But if the media focus only on the protest, for example, he said, and he made a very valid point here, you see that during the day there's peaceful protesting. At night there is violent protests, violent thuggery. And he's correct. Why is Fox News not broadcasting what's happening during the day? Of course, they have an angle, they have a narrative. Bill de Blasio is a Democrat, so we have to take him down. We have to criticize everything he does. If it was a Republican and the situation was exactly the same, they would be saying, look what he's doing. He's doing a great job. He's fighting for the people of New York. He's struggling, but he's winning the war against these people. Of course, because he's a Democrat, they're saying the absolute opposite. I can see it. Unfortunately, the average Fox News viewer can't see it.
He has to be among the dumbest politicians, and that's saying something in the entire world. Even yesterday.
It's the dumbest politician in the entire world. Really? Your guy is better than this? The guy who stood out in front of a church with a Bible that he's never read, and talked about how he wants to put the military on the streets to deal with a small number of protesters, rioters, I should say. But instead, they're using the military against peaceful protesters, moving people off the street who are protesting peacefully, exercising their First Amendment. You are the type of person who's always on about, well, the Democrats want to take away our amendments. They want to take away our amendment rights. They want to suppress our rights. This is what he would have been saying 6 months ago. Now we have a different situation where you have a Republican president wanting to put troops on the streets of the capital to suppress people's right to protest. And that's okay because there are a few idiots breaking windows.
Today, after days of riots, violence, beatdowns, lootings, while Comrade de Blasio feeling nostalgic, even
Comrades de Blasio. Really, these people are childish. Should I call you Sean Hannity or Sean Wanity or something? I don't know, some ridiculous comment just to attempt to degrade your opinion. No, I'm attacking your opinion. I'm not attacking you. I don't care about your politics. I care about what you're attempting to influence the people with. Once again, look at the images. The images of the rioting is taking place at night. Maybe I've missed one of the shots, but all of the rioting I've seen from Fox News is at night. Why is that? Why are they not showing protests during the day? Because once again, they have a narrative to sell.
Reminiscing about his favorite song, John Lennon's Imagine. Take a look.
I understand. I don't mean to make light of this, but I'm reminded of the song Imagine by John Lennon. We played it at my inauguration. I think everyone who hears that song in its fullness thinks about, what about a world where people got along differently? What about a world where we didn't live with a lot of the restrictions that we live with now? But we're not there yet. We are making a lot of progress.
Can reminisce all he want. His police.
Yes, but he's talking about a peaceful world. He wants a peaceful world. You don't want a peaceful world, Sean. Is that true?
Police officers, as Mayor Giuliani's been telling him and warning him for days on end, are under attack. And thanks to New York's absolute insane bail reform and Governor Cuomo's bill, and he signs it, most crimes now require, soon as you get arrested, no bail whatsoever. So police, then they are forced to now deal with the same criminals night after night after night.
But the bail issue is a completely separate issue. The problem with bail is that people who have, for example, been arrested for no crime, actually, are put in prison. And, for example, they're put in jail. They're waiting to be tried for a crime they haven't actually committed, but they can't get out of prison. They can't get out of jail because they don't have the money to bail themselves out. Because in many cases, they have to work. They have to look after their families. People who have been literally arrested for nothing. There are also cases of people who have trouble paying a fine. The fine gets bigger and bigger. Maybe they parked illegally, or they forgot to pay the parking meter or whatever. They receive a fine, and then the fine gets bigger and bigger, and they're not able to pay it. So they are arrested, and they go to jail. And while they wait in jail to have their trial, they lose their job, or they're not able to feed their family. So in order to get out, they need to raise bail. And of course, there is a business around this where people are getting into debt in order to get these bail bonds, which is a type of loan shark business, in order to get out of prison, to get access to a lawyer or whatever, or to actually just get back into work until they're actually able to clear their name. And there are people who are sitting in jail for years, months and years, because they haven't the money raised to bail themselves out.
January, there was a guy that robbed 4 different banks, released from jail under this policy just to go out and rob another one. Get arrested again, go rob.
Okay, but there are always exceptions. That you can't base a law or base a policy on one or on a small number of cases. The reason this was changed is because it was marginalizing poorer people.
Rob another one. That's how insane that is. And now we're likely seeing with the same thing with the looters, the rioters, and the arsons. However, New York's attorney, who was arrested for throwing that Molotov cocktail into a police car, well, he was forced to post bail. A miracle. Lucky for her, a former Obama intel official actually helped.
So then she did have to post bail. So I thought you said that there was no bail.
Post the bail for her. Wow. And meanwhile, according to a brand new FoxNews.com report, the Black Lives Matter Foundation is apparently preparing for a, quote, war on police. Now, they're reporting training a bunch of armed individuals to protect their community from law enforcement.
So, an alleged. Okay, what evidence do you have to support this? You're talking about there's an alleged organization. Like, don't you know that some of these organizations are infiltrated by the police, by the FBI? So is this a real branch of Black Lives Matter? Or I'm not defending Black Lives Matter here. This is a completely different issue. The problem here is that you're saying that they are doing something, but you have no evidence to support that. It's alleged.
They're calling themselves peace officers. Now keep in mind, okay, Black Lives Matter, they have a mission. Eradicate white supremacy. No good American is bigoted or racist, okay?
But Trump, the guy that you support, do you remember, there are good people on both sides.
You have to protect every American and every American's rights. I agree with that too. All good Americans stand against racism.
Defend their rights, once again. The same people who had their right to protest taken away from them. When the military arrived, or when the president, the guy that you're always preaching about, is threatening to take people's rights away, their right to protest. Yeah, there are peaceful protests, but there are also bad ones. We need to go down hard on the bad ones. How do you identify the bad ones? Really, it's insane. And this is what the American public are fed every day, every night. Once again, you need to look at this critically. Look at the footage. They're focusing on the rioting. They're not focusing on the protests, even though the protesters greatly outnumber the rioters. But the message is, people who are fighting Donald Trump are bad. Donald Trump is good. People who are fighting the Democrats, even if they're turning up at courthouses with weapons, are good because they're defending their rights. The Democrat who has a problem with this is bad. It's very, very simple thinking, but it seems to work on the masses, unfortunately. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks. why not become a Patreon and enjoy access to our Discord server where we share news, chat, and have some fun. If you become a patron, you can also make video suggestions on topics that are important to you. Check it out via the link in the description.